What's up, guys? Nolan here, and we got day 2 of pre-wipe events rolling with a couple more sneaky clues and things that BSG might have in store for us. Yes, yesterday's event is still going. You can still level skills insanely quickly. I imagine that all events will stack up until wipe. Speaking of wipe, my gut tells me that it will happen later this week, but nothing is certain. This stuff could last another week or more. So, reminder, if you want the minute-by-minute stuff, you have to follow me on Twitter or join the Discord, both linked below. This is because unless there is something that needs to be known by as many people as possible, as soon as possible, I won't post videos until about midday Eastern US time in case something else pops up during that day. It also gives us the most time possible to figure out whatever might be happening that day with that event in case there was something missed. So today's event is hideout upgrades are bought with beer. Yep, you heard that correctly. All the hideout upgrades only require beer now. So figure out your favorite food spawns and get a farm going if you want to see what a fully leveled hideout looks like. You can of course use beer from the flea as well, but good luck finding any or being able to afford them when you do find them. With this event picture BSG put up on Twitter, there is a series of numbers in the top left. When decoded in a matrix, it comes out to the number 26. Personally, I think that is a bit too easy. There were loads of people that immediately figured that out and just put it into that matrix and had that number pop up. Again, I think that's a bit too easy. I think these numbers may be required for something else, but if we want to take it at face value, it could be a clue that that's a date that the wipe will happen. The wipe might happen on the 26th. Again, I want to wait and see what other things BSG posts, and if you don't want to get caught up in these things, then just wait for the next event. As it stands right now, these are not what I would call the final stages of pre-wipe. It seems like they're going for a normal several day pre-wipe here, unless they go and put everything on sale or spawn all the bosses or something crazy tomorrow. Just in terms of how I see this escalating, it seems like we've got a few more days at least. However, I will say that these are new events. These events haven't happened before, so maybe we're heading into a new event for every day. And in case it wasn't clear before, now that we have had 2 new events one day apart, I believe we will continue to have daily events up until the wipe. So again, it could be a date, or that 26 could be used for something else, or the string of numbers could be used later with a new clue or puzzle BSG drops tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. Now, speaking of puzzles and stuff from BSG, I've personally come to believe the thing that I missed with the Chronicles of Rhyzy is the importance of his dad in the story. I talked a little bit about this yesterday, but here's everything that we've come up with since then. We've had loads of theories involving numbers on the walls and other obscure things, but I really think that it would be more upfront than codes that are in the background of these videos, especially since I didn't do a good job talking about the connection between Rhyzy's dad and the story just in general of the first event and what Rhyzy's even doing really here. Because I didn't really talk about it enough, I could see that warranting a heads up you missed something from the dev that I was talking to. However, since yesterday, there is one good theory that I will hold on to from all of this, that there could be an underground system of tunnels or something that connects Shoreline to labs. This was brought up to me by a couple of Sons of Soon, Atlantic, and Shoddy Glock on the Discord, and I could believe there is something there. It could be that the facility in the last Chronicles of Rhyzy video was just a coincidence and they couldn't find a place to shoot that video that looked like labs. And to be fair, in the last episode, they did load up that truck in a parking lot that looked like it was underground and looked like it connected to labs. So realistically, I think they just couldn't find a place to shoot all of this video in a place that looked like labs. And there's a lot of buildings that look like the resort in Russia, so they had an abandoned building that looked like the resort, so it just looks like Shoreline. Either way, Chronicle of Rhyzy or not, I still think it's possible the resort can be connected to labs. They're both Terra Group facilities, and there's loads of tunnels and sewers and stuff underground, so maybe. I'll link the first episode of Chronicles of Rhyzy in the description so that you can follow along if you haven't yet, but here's the TLDR of the story with my theory tied in. Throughout both the ARG, which showed up with the first episode, and the Chronicles of Rhyzy in total, we learn about Sanitar and what he did at Terra Group. They essentially were looking for people with a specific genetic makeup. Some were even people that were employees, and they were kidnapping them to do medical tests on them. None were seen from again. It's clearly shown in the first episode that Rhyzy's dad was one of those people. USEC operators abducted him, but USEC are employed by Terra Group. Remember, USEC are the bad guys in this story. Assuming it was Sanitar himself that was testing his stimulants on them, which we got to check out in the third event, it would have made them much stronger and better in combat. So the thing that's being added on here as a theory is, what if Sanitar figured out how to make it work, or it just happened to work on Rhyzy's dad? So the connection here that I want to try to make is, it is possible that Zrachi, aka Antlerman, is Rhyzy's dad after he was experimented on by Sanitar. It would also explain why Sanitar is looking for Rhyzy, because he could have the same genetics as his dad. He probably does. So I don't think that they would have made such a big deal of telling the story of him and his dad in episode 1 if it didn't mean something, and I think it was a mistake on my part to not pay more attention to it throughout the other events. It is also possible that Rhyzy's dad is dead, of course, and Sanitar knows knows Rhyzy has the genes that he needs to continue testing. Meanwhile, Zerachi, aka Antlerman, could just be a sniper turned cultist who saw the EMP when it actually happened and it turned his eyes like that in some way or shape or form. In the last episodes of Chronicles of Rhyzy, Rhyzy says he wants to talk to Lightkeeper to figure out if he knows anything about his father, or maybe his father is there on the island. Immediately after that, they go into the close-up scene of Zerachi, so that could be foreshadowing. I know there's a lot of theories out there, but this is the one that I'm most comfortable with. So in conclusion, my total theory here is I think Rhyzy will be our connection to Lightkeeper. I've talked in the past about how I think Rhyzy will be our first non-traitor NPC, and I think this will be his purpose. Whether his dad is Zerachi or he is just able to make a connection somehow to Lightkeeper because of the association to Terror Group and what's happening, whatever it might be, my theory is we meet Rhyzy in-game somehow and he gets us to Lightkeeper. Shit, maybe his dad is Zerachi and maybe he like recognizes him in his scope even though it's a thermal, so that'd be really difficult, and doesn't shoot him. I don't know. For right now, I really believe there is a connection between Rhyzy and Lightkeeper or Zerachi to be made, and my gut tells me that that will pop up in-game, but let me know what you think. I am completely expecting a new event to pop up tomorrow, but that is going to do it for now. If you like this video, there's a button for that. Subscribe for more like it. Jump into the comments to help me figure this stuff out. We could use the help. For the minute-by-minute news, follow me on Twitter or join the Discord, both linked below. For the details on this patch, check this out. For the latest news, check this out. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. See you guys.